found at the market in Muri. This time it's, I have no idea. I don't know what this is going to be like, but this is called a dabai, and it's actually like really, really hard. It's like a very firm fruit. It's like a little rock, and you see it's like completely black, and it's got like this one little circle on there. I'm assuming that's where it would like attach to the tree. And yeah, just kind of bizarre looking. I've seen like a couple vendors selling this, and everyone who sells it for a lot of money. Like, fruit here is very cheap. Like, everything that I've showed you has been like $1 a kilogram. This was 26 ringgit a kilo, which is about $6 to $7, like $6 and some change per kilo for this. So that's like a lot more, like 6 times as expensive as things usually tend to be. So I'm not sure why. I think this might be used like medicinally, so it's kind of like a specialty thing. But yeah, very pricey comparatively. Is it good? That is the real question. Now, because these are so hard, what you do with them is you actually put them in a container and you add hot water. You have to like cook them a little bit, and that's supposed to soften up the flesh. I'm just going to cover them and leave them submerged until they soften up a little bit. Okay, so it's been, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes, and they are still very hard, but I think you're just supposed to like soften them up like a little bit. They're still supposed to be very firm. You just don't want it to like hurt you. They have like a little bit of like a waxy substance on them. Yeah, so it could be that whoever was selling this did that to like preserve them a little longer or something. But yeah, anyway, I'm like wiping it off. And whether or not you eat it with the skin is a matter of preference. The skin is edible, but some people like to peel it. And if you go to markets, I've actually seen some of the vendors selling this with the skin already peeled off. So I'm actually going to start with trying it with the skin peeled off, just in case there's a reason why people peel it. So let's give it a little try. Very firm. That's strange. It's good though. Very similar to carrot. A little bit like chestnut. A little bit like potato. A little bit like celery. And like a little bit like almonds. Yeah. It's like eating like a very firm soup. It's a little fatty tasting. I think that's where I'm getting like the almond taste. But all in all, this is actually really good. I wouldn't be eating this like if I wanted fruit though. This is something I would eat if I wanted something like more savory. I could see this like being in like a vegetable platter. So I'm gonna try it now with the skin and see if that tastes any different. This one softened up a little bit more. I think maybe I needed to wait like a little bit longer. This one was in there a little bit longer than that. And yeah, the texture is easier to take when it softens up a little bit more. The skin does add something else to it. It's got like a little bit of a piney kind of flavor. But it's not bad. It also has like a little bit of like an olive taste. Like black olives. And this is maybe why it tastes like olives. This is actually quite oily. You can actually see like how shiny that is. And that's probably what that wax was on the outside. That was probably oil. Like oil that just like at room temperature is firm. A lot of complex flavors. Celery, carrots, potatoes, almonds, olives, chestnuts, all kind of like wrapped up into one little fruit that is really nice and worth checking out. I can totally see why people spend extra money to get these things. This is also one that people tend to eat with soy sauce and salt. I don't have soy sauce, but I do have some of my little chili salt here, so I'm going to try it with some of this on it. Okay, so it's just lightly salted. Yeah, that's pretty good. It makes it like a little more complicated than it needs to be. It's like putting condiments on something that is like so good as it is. It's just like covering up something. You know, I think I actually prefer this without the salt on it, but I can see why you would want to do that. It's like adding seasoning to nuts or something. But just like, I think I like to just like appreciate the flavor as it is. But yeah, the salt's pretty good too. And one thing with this is that if you dry these out, you can eat the inside of the seed.
Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks or so. Let's see how these guys worked. Got myself a brick, got myself a rock, and do it. There it is. And mind all the noise, I know, like I'm out like in the middle of a very popular area right now in KK. And yeah, there it is. Interesting looking. It's got like a little like crease in it. Still a little wet in there, so maybe it didn't dry out completely. But it doesn't look moldy. It's pretty good. It's got a flavor like the fruit. Like kind of like buttery kind of flavor. Buttery like carrot-like kind of flavor. Also like a little bit of a bitterness to it. And a little bit of like a walnut taste to it. Actually, that's really good. Yeah, I would buy like a bag of those and just like eat them. It's like a nut, but it's also like very creamy and buttery. So, yeah, really nice. So Dubai fruit, man, they're really good. I mean, that's something I'd keep eating. You know, if they were available in the US, I'd buy them all the time. It's not like your typical fruit. It's not like, if you want something like sweet, you know, like, it's not gonna do it for you. But if you want something like savory and like kind of like rich tasting, the Dubai is like the way to go. Hey guys, before you click out, I just want to talk to you for 1 second. I want to tell you about my Patreon page that I started, okay? Patreon is a way of viewers of my series to contribute and help make my series even greater. So go and check it out. Just click on this screen. Actually, click on these bunnies here to be brought to... Hi, I know! Click on these bunnies here to go to my Patreon page where you can learn more about how to make my series even greater. Come on, they're adorable. Don't you want to click on them? Yes, don't bite me.